and we have a project going on that we need to get some suggestions on these vases that we have out in the front. We're going to be putting in St. Augustine, replacing the lawn here, and the next step is to retrofit the irrigation system. We came through and took out the old turf last week and isolated out the pop-ups in the areas that have sprinklers that we're going to have to change out. Some areas we're going to have to cap off the irrigation because we don't need the pop-ups where certain flags are located. Some areas we're going to have to relocate. Case in point, out here on the other side of this fencing, before they put the fencing in, they didn't realize that there's pop-ups or there was irrigation that watered the grass in this area. So there's a couple pop-ups we're going to have to cap off and to move because we're not watering the railing. We're going to be watering the turf. In some areas like down there, we won't need the pop-ups anymore. So this area here is going to be gravel. So we're going to bring gravel in and also put gravel up in this upper decomposed granite area. We had an issue with drainage where the water was coming off of the house and coming down onto the decomposed granite, and also because there's a lot of pine needles in here because there's a lot of pine trees here in the area. And that water was coming down on the decomposed granite and coming out of this drain here, this rain gutter, and coming down. And this is your low point. So the water was coming over the edge here and going down to the back. There's a big grade that goes towards the freeway here. And also here, we don't have any rain gutters at all. So the water was coming off of the top of the house and coming down into the flower bed and also into the decomposed granite. And once it built up, it was jumping this railing, this railroad tie railing, and coming down. And you can see where it's been washing out the decomposed granite here and going back to the back, where it goes all the way back to the back. And so that decomposed granite was washing to the backyard and is building up back there. So the client wanted to do something from the standpoint of not having all that DG end up down in the back. So what we're going to do is put gravel down here as a little bit of a buffer, because also this decomposed granite, when you walk on it when it's wet, it's not the most ideal, even though it's still solid, but it's not good from the standpoint of walking around on it if it happens to be wet. So we want to put the gravel, about an inch of gravel on here, inch and a half or so of a special gravel we're going to get from down in the valley, Foothill Soils. They have a lot of selections of different gravels, www.foothillsoils.com. They're located over in Newhall, out here in the San Fernando Valley. But we're going to put down the gravel all in this area here, and also at the other area down the other side, and a gravel down this way. And to help mitigate some of the waters coming off of the top of the roof here, we're going to run a solid drain underneath the decomposed granite and bring it out to the middle of the yard where the grass is going to be. And we have this pop-up that once it reaches a certain level of water inside of this elbow in this 90, that top will raise up, and so the water will disperse in the yard. So we're going to take that water and relocate it out here to the main yard, and hopefully we'll get a lot of that water that'll saturate into the yard before it ends up probably gravitating over to this area here. But the whole concept is to bring as much water off of the house and keep it on the property. And I might extend it out a little bit more so it brings it more to the middle of the yard, because this is a low point right here. And so I'd rather have that water settle in this area here rather than being piling up and saturating the soil profile here, and then ending up still doing the same type of situation we had prior. So I'll probably extend that out and maybe do a 45 and come over in this area here where it's a lot lower. But from the standpoint of these vases, I'd like to get some suggestions on what you think should go in these vases. These vases are 24 inch with a 20-inch mouth here. There's 20 inches in between here, and the vase is actually a 24-inch vase, and they're about 2.5, 3 foot high, about 2.5 feet. And so this is a north-facing side of the house. So any suggestions you do-it-yourselfers or you professionals or you gardeners have some suggestions of what I could put into these vases, I'll take into consideration. We're here in California, in Southern California. I think it's zone 24. Actually, not zone 24, because we're closer to the foothills, so it's a whole different zone. Zone 24 is down near the coast. That's why I do a lot of landscaping in Orange County and in the Los Angeles areas in zone 24. So I have to check out what the zone is here. But whatever it is, we got to be able to have it be conducive for a shady side of the house. So it's hardly any sun at all that comes on this side of the house. And we have these two feature vases here, these big ones, these big oil vases. These are like about 36 inch, I think it is. And so we're going to need 30 inches. And so we're going to need something to go in these vases that will give a good statement as you look to the front. This is like a living room here. And then over on the other side, they have another one. And it has this alloy in here. It looks pretty sick. And we water it with drip irrigation, but that thing, it has better days. But we need something that will be able to highlight the middle of this window here, this bay window. So probably like a patio tree or something that doesn't get root bound, or a small shrub. Camellias will probably work over here because it's a shady side, and camellias will probably look really nice here at this particular home. And it's different types of camellias. So I'll check with my buddies over at the at Melfields in Riverside. They're one of the biggest asset-loving plant growers in Southern California, if not the largest. Melfields Nursery over in Riverside, California. They have a big selection of camellias and gardenias and azaleas and stuff like that. Mostly acid-loving plant material. But that's what's going to happen here in Glendale. The next phase is finding some plant material for the vases, so I'll need your help on that. Retrofitting the irrigation system to the Valvest Systems little Tuffy pop-ups. We're going to use probably 4-inch pop-ups in here with some Rainbird rotating nozzles. And so we're going to have a really good layout here. So we have water efficiency and be able to have a nice front lawn. This particular place is actually a location where the owner, he trains dogs. And this is a training facility. Back in the back is a big backyard. So when the clients come up to the front, we want to have it look really nice and presentable and have a nice place to sit down and stuff like that. But K9 Logic is the name of the dog training facility. And the owners, they'll be really happy. If you went and checked out their website, it's k9logic.com. They train all types and breeds of dogs. And he has been known to travel to other states in order to train dogs. And there's people that fly in to have their dogs trained. So there you go. Stay tuned and watch the magic.